Hello, yes, welcome to a new video on assettocorsacompetizione once again. Another SRO esports race, a grid stacked with alien life forms, as you can see on the left hand side. And let me set the scene for you very quickly. So this is round 3, we're going back in time a bit, it's an old race. However, it was an interesting one, so I thought I may as well upload it because there's a lot to be learned from it. We're in qualifying, 15 minutes, and this is our second to last lap. We're going into the final lap. You can see there we're P19 on the board, going across the line. This lap does jump us up to P13, and I mean P13 is not good enough, so we need to deliver on this final lap. You can see that we've got a Honda in front of us as traffic, braking at the 100-metre board down to turn 1. We brake a bit early, we meet the curb on the inside. That's not ideal, but not too bad, and I think it's inevitable we're going to catch this traffic in front of us. So at this point, halfway through the lap, we're 2 temps up, and you can see here a Lamborghini spun round, Aston off on the left hand side, there's a Ferrari off there. The Honda just doesn't have the legs and it's holding us up. There's nothing the driver can do about it. He's got to finish his lap, fair enough. I should have made more space. We did improve on that final lap, but we're 6/10 off pole, 15th, and the car on pole is the same car as ours. So as far as I'm concerned, that is a disaster. An absolute, yeah, well, no words can really sum that up. But anyway, onto the race, 15th on a grid like this. I mean, overtaking one alien is hard enough. Overtaking 14, yeah, well, it don't happen, but we give it a good go. And I mean, the Hungaroring is notoriously difficult to overtake. So 60-minute race, 1 mandatory pit stop. If you saw the other video at Brands Hatch of SRO Esports, you'll know that these kind of races are extremely competitive. It's like a sprint for 60 minutes worth of qualifying laps, so you don't really get a rest. And so for turn 1, I thought, let's hug it on the inside, the whole way down the straight, the whole way through turn 1, just to avoid any carnage, because I think there is going to be carnage. Use the curb on the inside to get a bit further away from everyone else. You can see there on the rear camera, the Porsche goes spinning around, takes out about 4 cars. That's good for us. We move up a couple of positions, and then going into the left-hander, turn 2. We're kind of in no man's land. We're sort of defending, sort of on the offensive at the same time. Turn 3, easy flat. So a good start so far, going up to sector 2. And I'm just hoping, I've got to be aggressive, but I'm hoping for people to make mistakes as well. So you can see here, going through the left-hander, I go on the curb on the inside, take the Aston on the right-hand side, brake really late into this right-hander, kind of go deep, hold it round the outside of this Bentley, and then we're using all the track on the exit. It doesn't give us any room, and we're on the grass, we stick on the curb, we hold it through this right-hander, the chicane. He doesn't want to give any space, hits me, and then fires himself off, so that's a bit of karma there. And that's another position. So I think when the Delta sorts itself out, we're P11, the guys in front are fighting as well. It's a good start. I couldn't have asked for any more than that. And if we skip till the end of lap 1, we do end up in P10. It's already in the points. It's like F1, you get points all the way to 10th. And we're in the train, so you know, it's a long race. I mean, it doesn't sound like a long time, an hour, but a lot can happen. And you can see that Pfeffer in the McLaren in front of us does outbrake himself. We have to try everything, every opportunity, if I can speak, we need to send it, because there's nothing to lose. You know, if I crash, what do I lose out on? 1 point. But if I do make the aggressive moves work, you know, there's more on offer. So the leaders are starting to get away as well. Tanitsa and Siggy already starting to break away, which is not ideal for the championship at this stage. Round 3, you know, Tanitsa was already kind of getting away from everyone, and you can see here, I think this was a couple of laps later, we're still behind Pfeffer. And I mean, I love the camera views on this game. Like this, yeah, the helicopter cam for this particular overtake was awesome. You can see there's a Lamborghini off on the grass. He's going to have no grip on his tyres in this next section. Pfeffer goes for a move, gets held up, and then I kind of take my opportunity to go through on the outside of this left-hander. He gives me space. I go down the inside of this one. I'm going to sort of ease him out on the exit. He's got some runoff on the exit, so it's not as if he's going to go on the grass or anything like that. We get the move done, and he's got to defend from the Aston Martin now. So we are up to P9. Race pace I knew was strong. Qualifying pace, to be honest, was strong. You know, I could have done a time within a couple of attempts of Siggy, which would have put me, I think, P5 or P4. But as we saw, it was an absolute disaster. Now, this is lap 14, so a bit further into the race. You can see the top 7 are gapping, and then this Lamborghini in front of me is kind of holding me up. I don't know if he got damage or if the Lambo's just not very strong in the race. Whatever the reason, I'm stuck behind him. He's not very easy to overtake as well. You'll see that over the next couple of laps. So down the inside. It's a bit of a send. He does give me space on the apex. We're taking the curb on the inside. He does get good traction, and he's got the line for turn 2, so I can't really do anything here. I'm not going to try around the outside, it won't work. All I can do is put him under pressure, going up to sector 2. I mean, the graphics on this game as well, mate, you just have to appreciate, like, yeah, at the moment, by far my favourite racing game to play. Because it's as near realism as you get with a GT car. But we're going to kind of do the switchback going into sector 2. Again, he's got the inside line for the right-hander. Nothing I can do apart from put pressure on him for the next sequence of corners. Hopefully he makes a mistake, goes over the chicane wrong. You know, I can't force it, I can't make contact, yeah, I'll get a penalty. So all I can do is put the pressure on every corner, every lap. Eventually he will make a mistake, and that's when you go through. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of my philosophy when I come up to another car, really, is you can't, I think you learn when you're younger, you do send it and it goes wrong, you make contact, and then you've screwed your race because you get a penalty. But here you can see on the exit of that right-hander, McLaren really quick through there. It's going to defend into this next right-hander, parks it on the apex, stops it really quickly. I couldn't really avoid that. If I was a bit less aggressive, I might have been able to, but yeah, nothing I could have really done there. No harm done. I think I got maybe a second's worth of aero damage. I don't think he got any damage from that. I mean, I don't know why he's struggling so much at this stage of the race. We're dropping, I mean, he is defending, to be fair, but we're losing half a second a lap on Butaloop in front. So it's only round 3 of the championship. There's 10 rounds of the SRO Esports Sprint Series, and you know, already at round 3 we're starting to fall behind in the championship, and a race like this is disastrous, especially when you've got Tanitsa, the leader of the championship, and you know, the other guys like Rogers and Siggy all in front of me. You know, not ideal. So as I say, aggression is the key here, and you can see a few laps later I'm still behind the Lamborghini, can't get through, and we're going to box. We're going to try and undercut him. Usually with this kind of race, you go to the end of the pit window and then you get an overcut because your tyres are warm for longer. Trying to fire up these tyres and get them up to pressure on the outlap does cost you a bit of lap time, and if you do box early, you usually come out in traffic. So yeah, it wasn't the optimal strategy, but I had to try something different. I couldn't get past the Lambo. I was trying lap after lap to try and get past. So the undercut is all I could do, and you'll see in a minute. Well, it may work, it may not. I'm not going to spoil it. Pit stop on this game. 1 litre of fuel, no tyres, very quick, 3 seconds. We managed to get off the jacks, stay ahead of camera in the BMW behind us, and then you see that Brendan Lee in 10th position. I think this was a one-off race where Brendan decided to do it in the Ferrari, because he is teammates with Tanitsa and DeSalvo in FDA. So we come out in 17th from the pit stop, and it's all about just nailing the outlap. I know I said the pressures won't be there, the temps won't be there, but if you just minimise the damage, if he has a mistake in the pits, we could get him. If he decides to repair the damage, or you know, you never know what he's going to do. So you can see there a Bentley rejoining the track. That's Butaloop, who was in P6, and we're in P7. You won't see it on the Delta yet, but we've managed to jump the Lamborghini quite a lot. I don't know what was going on in the pits, but we managed to gain a lot of time on the cars in front. So whether they were holding each other up, there was an incident, I don't know. But that's worked out a treat for us. And I mean, when you think about it, we're halfway through the race, and we've gone from P15 to P7 on a track like this in GT3s. I couldn't have asked for a lot more. And I knew there was more on offer, because you know, the guy in front's got a drive-through, Brioni, and I messed up earlier. I thought that was Butaloop in front of us. It's Brioni. He's got the drive-through. So we were P8, now going into P7 when he serves that drive-through. And there's a big cluster of cars in front, as you can see. So I think it's DeSalvo, who's kind of the cork in the bottle. Wisniewski 4th, Rogers, Butaloop, then me. So, I mean, there's a potential podium here if we get lucky. If we nail it and it all goes tits up in front of us and we manage to get the luck of the draw, there's definitely a podium on the cards, which from 15th, you know, I never would have said that. I mean, I'm all for overtaking, coming back through the field and whatever, but if you play ACC on a regular basis, or you drive GTs on a regular basis, it's not easy to overtake, especially around the Hungaroring. So anything now, you know, moving into the race is a bonus. I'll take P7. Anything from now onwards, yeah, as I say, it's a bonus. So pretty quickly we caught up to the train in front, with, I think DeSalvo maybe a damage, but he dropped 9.5 seconds to Siggy and Tinitsa in front of him. I don't really think that was raw pace. As I say, I think he might have got damage or he had an issue or something like that. But anyway, he's holding up the train of Wisniewski, Rogers, Butterloop behind him. We caught up pretty quickly, and we've got a little bit of a gap behind us as well, so we don't have to make a move immediately. We don't have to defend and attack at the same time, which is arguably the hardest thing you can be doing in racing. So I don't envy the guys in front. I can fully focus on the cars ahead. I don't have to focus on the car behind. And to be honest, the person who's probably feeling it the most in this train is Rogers, because the Porsche in battles is a nightmare, simply because it's got no straight line speed, which it means he has to nail every exit. Fair enough, in the corners the car's pretty good, but it does mean you've got to nail your driving, whereas in a car like the McLaren, the Bentley, especially the BMW, that's really quick on the straights, you can get away with it because your car's decent on the straight anyway. As long as you defend, you won't get overtaken, and don't make any mistakes. So for the final couple of laps, or the final few laps, we're just putting pressure on every single lap, every single corner on Butterloop. Butterloop and Rogers are teammates, and before this race I didn't actually know that, so it kind of made sense the way he was driving. He was kind of protecting Rogers, because Rogers is their, well, at this stage anyway, he was their championship favourite. So maybe that was why Butterloop was defending but not attacking. He was kind of just defending Rogers from me. And the Bentley's so quick on the straights, it's hard to kind of get past. But everyone's driving really well, no one's really making mistakes, and I can't do anything about it. All I can do is drive my best to try and force an error. It's easier said than done. And I believe we're going into the final lap. So I've got a few corners left to try and make it happen. You can see there in front of us, the Bentley and the Ferrari, Wisniewski and DeSalvo are battling, which is good for me. But again, DeSalvo manages to hold him off. And the battle for the lead, by the way, you can't see it on track, but you can see in the delta on the left-hand side. 6 tenths with a lap to go is really close. So Siggy all over the back of Tinitsa. Siggy got pole, clearly had the pace. I think Tinitsa got him at the start. And the Ferrari, again, another car really quick on the straight, very hard to overtake. So through the chicane, we were really weak through the chicane. The McLaren's too low really to deal with the bumps. Through sector 2, we just need to nail it, be as close to Butterloop as possible going into sector 3, because he might feel the pressure, he might make a mistake, he might lock the brake, engage the ABS, whatever. We just need to be there. So I'm not going to send it like an absolute maniac, but I'm going to make sure I'm there to capitalise from any errors. So going into the final few corners, really close. That Bentley's very wide though. It's not easy at all to get past. A shame that we couldn't make anything else happen, because I was behind them for a fair few laps. You can see there we just really tried to be on his arse going through the final few corners, and it didn't work. Going through the final corner, across the line, you can see the flares in the stands going up. We finished P7. Not ideal in the championship, not ideal as a result, but when you think about qualifying, that is not too shabby. We did everything we could. We couldn't have done anything to get past the guys in front at the end. Is what it is. And miraculously, we only finished 12 point something seconds off the win, starting from 15th. I mean, yeah, I'll take that. I feel like the race pace was really good. What was that? 11 or 12.9 seconds off the win. So yeah, if we had a better quali, if we started in the top 5, the win would have been there on the cards. But that's racing. So a PC issue and my own personal errors got in the way in quali. That wasn't ideal for a championship, especially as competitive as this. We finished round 6 of the series recently. I've just come off the back of 2 poles and 2 wins, but they're very boring. So I thought I'd show you the tougher race, the more difficult one, so we can talk about it. And these races do define a championship. You're only as good as your weekdays. Your strong days don't come every time. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, another race review of the SRO Esports Sprint Series. The link to the latest standings will be below, so go and check them out. We're P2 in the championship at the moment. And yeah, give it a thumbs up, make sure you sub to the channel. Hope everyone is all good, and I'll see you all on the next one.